Welcome to Learn English with Dr. Bruce. I'm Dr. Bruce, and today we're going to be talking about idioms. Idioms at work and study, unlocking the key to fluent English. Yeah, sounds good. What is an idiom? An idiom is a way of speaking that's natural to a native speaker. Every language has its own collection of sayings that are wise, that give you some idea into the culture, some advice about how to live, what to do, how to handle certain situations. Those are idioms. Idioms are not a complete sentence. Idioms are a few words, a phrase, and they're difficult to figure out based on the words themselves. So you can't go and decode word for word usually in an idiom. Sometimes you can, but usually you can't. The meaning is more figurative than literal. So you have to look at an idiom as a single unit of language, not as a collection of individual words. Should you learn idioms? I know some people say that you shouldn't. And, well, I completely disagree with that. Idioms may be difficult to learn, hard to remember, sometimes confusing to use when you first get started, but they greatly increase your understanding of your target language, in this case, English. And they make you sound more like a native speaker if you can use them and use them correctly and effortlessly in your conversation or in your writing. And as I found out with some of my students, they can increase your interest in learning English because you can look and say, oh, we've got an idiom like that in my language. It's almost identical. Or it has the same meaning, but a little different word. And then we take a look and compare them and laugh and go, wow, I would never figure that out if I thought about all the individual words together, but I see what you mean. On the internet, on YouTube, you're going to find dozens and dozens and dozens of videos and web pages and TikToks giving you 50 or 100 idioms. Should you try to memorize all those? No, it's a waste of time. Can you? Sure, some people can. Some people are good at memorizing and they don't mind going over a list and trying to remember each word. The best way is to learn in context, like I say, and I say this about most everything. Try to learn English in context. What do I mean by in context in this case? I mean situationally. And I've talked about situational learning before, and here's a link up here to one of the videos. Learn idioms based on the situation. This gives you a handle when you're trying to remember them. For example, today we're going to talk about idioms for work and for study. And we're going to stay with 20 idioms. A small number, enough for you to remember. And what's a good way to do this? I'm going to tell you my way. And as I've said before, again and again and again, there are many different ways to study. You have to find out the one that works for you best, or the ones that work for you best. My study tip for the week, bing bing, spend the week going over this video and repeating the idioms. Get a pen and paper and write them down in a sentence. Read the sentence out loud. Close your eyes, visualize what's happening. For example, I have a major presentation due tomorrow. I'm going to have to burn the candle at both ends. As you're saying that, think about a candle burning and you at a table preparing your presentation, maybe at your computer, maybe on a piece of paper. Visualize it. Say it over. Read it, write it, say it, read it, write it, say it, practice it. That will do it. Go over these every day for a week, right? One of my other things is consistency. You've got to be consistent. You want to learn, you've got to put the time in. You have to make a block of time. It doesn't have to be a huge block of time. It can be 20, 25 minutes a day. But you've got to do it every day. So make it reasonable. Don't say I'm going to do English an hour or 2 hours a day if that's not going to be possible. Maybe it's just 15 minutes. Maybe you're going to learn 4 or 5 words in 15 minutes, or you're going to figure out how to use a preposition correctly. Whatever it is that you're studying, make it reasonable so that it is not a burden on you and so that you can do it every day. So let's hit it. Number 1, cut corners. What does cut corners mean? It means doing something the easiest and quickest way. not always with the best results. I told Bill not to cut corners on the marketing report. Cutting corners will take less time, but may result in careless errors. Cutting corners. Number 2, you've probably heard this one. This is a really famous one. It's not rocket science. What does that mean? It means it's not complicated to understand. Have you solved that problem with the computer printer? No. Read the manual. It's not rocket science. It means it's simple, not too difficult to understand. Number 3, get the ball rolling. What does that mean? It means to get started. I've been avoiding writing the source code for the new software. I guess that it's time to get the ball rolling. It means get to work. Number 4, up to speed. Up to speed? It means to become familiar with the current situation or current information. My boss asked me to get the new employee up to speed on the accounting software. It means I want to get him familiar with the current information, in this case, the current software. Number 5, on the back burner. On the back burner? Yeah, it means to give low priority to something. I decided to put my research paper on the back burner until I finish my midterm exams. So you're prioritizing one thing for another. You're putting something on the back burner. That is, you're letting it go until later. Number 6, back to the drawing board. Okay, in this case, close your eyes and visualize a big drawing board, kind of like an architect would use. And there it is, the big board, and you're there leaning over it, maybe drawing. Back to the drawing board. What does that mean? It means to start again after a plan or an idea was not successful. My boss rejected my analysis of new trends in photography. Oh well. Back to the drawing board. Number 7, for the long haul. This one is not too difficult to figure out. For the long haul, for a long period of time. When he asked how long it would take to renovate the house, I said, we're in for the long haul. It means we're going to take a long time doing this, so get ready. Number 8, burn the midnight oil. What does that mean? It means to work beyond the normal hours consistently. Because final exams are next week, I will have to burn the midnight oil in order to get good grades. If I don't, my parents may be upset. Number 9, change of pace. Change of pace is to do something different from the normal routine. When the principal told the teachers that Friday would be free dress day, she explained that we need a change of pace. Yeah, it's something to freshen us up, get out of the normal rut and try something different and have a little fun. Number 10, think outside the box. Probably heard this one many, many times, and sometimes you're thinking, what does that mean? It means to go beyond the normal idea. In order to solve the problem of ocean pollution, we will need to think outside the box because the usual approaches have not worked. And ain't that the truth? And I used ain't here. Don't use ain't. I use ain't sometimes. Sometimes you use incorrect language to emphasize a point or to do it humorously. And I like to use ain't sometimes. Well, because people don't expect me to talk like that normally, and so I like doing it sometimes. Number 11, on the same page. What does that mean? It means to have a shared understanding with others. It's kind of like getting up to speed, but a little different. When our team member came back from vacation, we had to get her up to speed on our progress so that we were all on the same page. In this sentence, I used 2 idioms, up to speed and on the same page. Pretty clever, huh? Number 12, out on a limb. Out on a limb is to do or say something risky. I told my assistant I went out on a limb to keep the boss from firing her because of her sloppy work. And so I wasn't very pleased about it, but I did it anyway because I liked her and I wanted to give her another chance. Number 13, jump the gun. Jump the gun, what does it mean? It means to do something early or before the right time. Research all possible solutions to the problem rather than jumping the gun after researching one solution. So it means don't make a quick decision on this. Look at this from all angles and then make a decision. Don't just take the first solution that comes to mind and use that, because there may be better ones coming along. Number 14, throw in the towel. Now, you may have heard this. You may have heard this in sports too. Throw in the towel. In the boxing ring, you may see the trainer throw in a towel into the center of the ring, it means that they're done, that their fighter is finished. They want to stop the fight. Well, it means to quit or to accept failure. Throw in the towel. My thesis proposal was rejected by the committee for the 3rd time. I'm ready to throw in the towel. Number 15, to miss the mark. It means to not achieve your goal. Your analysis of our 3rd quarter losses missed the mark. You will need to redo your work. Stay on your toes. Does that mean to stand up and stretch out high? Kind of. It means to stay alert, to be prepared. We told the security guard to stay on his toes because of the demonstrations outside our office. Number 17, raise the bar. This is another very common one. It means to raise standards or expectations. I told my trainee that she would have to raise the bar if she expected to win the competition. Number 18, back to square one. You can probably figure this one out. It means to go back to the beginning. Oh no, my coding for the new gaming software did not function properly. I guess it's back to square one. Number 19, hit the nail on the head. It means to find exactly the right answer. Wow, outstanding work. You really hit the nail on the head. And the last one, 20, cut to the chase. Cut to the chase means get to the point, stop wasting time. My professor told me to cut to the chase instead of beating around the bush. And here I use 2 of them again. Beating around the bush is another idiom. It means to not get to the point, to talk about anything except the point. And so to cut to the chase means to get to the point. So I've got 2 of them in there. I'm getting clever. Okay. And those are our 20 idioms related to work and study. Remember my tip about studying for these? Write them down, read them, visualize them, do it for a week, come back and give yourself a test. And if you have any idioms related to work and study that you really like, leave a message in the comment or leave a comment in the description box. Okay. Thank you for viewing. Be kind to someone today. Stay safe and keep on learning, because if you are consistent in your efforts, you will succeed in learning English. See you in the next lesson.